Albrecht saw fit to defile my mind. If you want that scrawny little butler of his to march up those stairs, you will do as I say. Fight me.
blistering kiss. Enough of this! of your very marrow, Marie! My blood!
Let the devil strike this holy image. Saul's fire is stronger than his.
Melt as wax! Nicely done.
Third time's the charm, as they say. Have at thee.
Fire silences them all!
Soul, bless this willing sacrifice.
Not bad.
Please select destination.
For so long, the Orokin Empire had no enemies. Its military existed merely to pursue petty grudges, house against house, executor against executor. When the sentients attacked, we knew a unity long denied to us. The Dax drew their swords against something other than an insolent peasant or a larcenous trader. The emperors, the deathless titular rulers of the empire whose power was vested in the executors, lurched awake on their dusty golden thrones. War. Magnificent war. At last, the empire meant something, defined by an extinction more imminent than the sun's eventual death. We drank deep of the nectar of life.
The system continues to fall into chaos. Check navigation for active invasions.
Beast. So suggestible, so angry. A perfect citizen for this purgatory. hunting with a covard. We used to set them on convicts back in my day. Splendid for what... 5 times now you've done all this work to turn over a new stone in my mind. I'm simply flattered.
I know what whispers in your skull, Leon. Fire silences them all. Shield us with your grace. Bless our blades with your light.
My mission is incomplete.
This what you came for? Yours. Ignite my blood. Go for gold!
You have guarded my life. Let them all forever.
Now!
You were sent to save me. This end is just... So bless you.
Inefficient. But effective.
Please select destination.
We did not expect to lose. After the Sentient's first expeditionary strike, we had prepared a punitive counterblast. The Gilderglass Enchantress rose out of Serra's fog on lethal wings, a galleon laden heavy with drones and silver-armored myrmidons. Circuitry, fine as mist, formed a delicate lace beneath their translucent plating. So vast she was that she barely cleared the edges of the solar rail. The Sentients made sure we saw the outcome. They sang and our technology failed. Our warriors struggled and suffocated inside their shining suits. The crew of the Gilderglass Enchantress roasted alive as she swan-dived engineless through the skies of Tau, a complex and costly firework. Now, I remember the developments of martial Archimedia were, at first, presented as entertainments, like debauched rules watching criminals put to death in an arena circus. We fancied we were coming up with new and titillating ways to dispatch a far inferior foe. How we flattered ourselves. In truth, we innovated desperately, knowing ourselves outmatched by our Protean enemies. They tore through us like swarming children devouring their bloated mother. Desiccated, crushed between the pages of time, we had simply been out-evolved. We did not think of the Sentients as a them so much as an it. We faced legions hurled at us with no more regard for their individual lives than corpuscles have. There were cells in the body of a sprawling, malevolent mass. We were, I think, too conditioned by our experiences with the infestation, a hive mind of quite a different order. The Sentients had been given a mandate to evolve, and their only model of the endpoint of such evolution was us. They were returning to the origin system not just to obliterate the Orokin, but to replace them and ultimately perfect them. Drop by bloody drop, I will have it all back until I know what is missing. 7? Again?
Use us with your grace. Bless our blade with your light.
Soul, bless this willing sacrifice.
This part. And still, I feel there are holes, sections of my mind left incomplete. Why? Why, Albrecht? Not bad, Drifter. Not bad. Like for you in Deveri, Drifter? Endlessly, tirelessly dying? Oh, come. Let us dance. Well played. Orokin played all manner of games with each other, you know. Twisted political games, psychological warfare, romantic intrigue that would make you sick. But this? Nothing like this. 10? A little higher. To the left.
Please select destination.
Among the 7 I was, so I was told, considered Nitok's plaything and concubine. In the early days of war, they appointed me Vice-Regent Grand Carnus at her goading, thinking it a jest. How quickly their laughter turned to solemn applause as I brought home the news of one victory after another. The blood of better men dappled me like medals. In secret, I amassed weapons for Nitok. It was easily done. I was too glorious a figure to be suspected. Nothing quite speaks to the pomposity with which we creatures treat the carnage of war quite as succinctly as the bannermen. Those who must be protected at all costs and followed without question. And who may be threatened, I might add, to follow orders that no sane soldier would ever complete, lest they somehow come to suffer some more terrible fate, laughable though it is. It was always their forms my eye was drawn to amongst the rest, though their mangled bodies were no different from any other. It was always the standard they still bore, glittering in its Orokin gold and smeared in dappled crimson. I always ensured it stood proud upon the field before I departed. I recall them now, coteries of laughing Orokin youth, nobility clad in the as yet unspoiled raiments of command. Childhood friends now in charge of legions of Dax, of Grineer, null matter cells, self-replicating carcinators, primitive biodrone blade spiders, canisters of low-tech troops, golden boys and girls with ravening devils at their beck. Their arrogance trickles like stinging sweat into my mind. They drank and sang, boasting of the times to come. They would make names for themselves, raise their families high in honor. So many of them fell. Not even their bodies were returned. To prevent the enemy from gleaning our secrets, they were Kuva-jolted to liquefy upon death. The hope of a generation turned to an oily puddle, sloshed through by Grineer boots. It was Skarn, testy, cerebral and acerbic, who had first mooted the plan back in the days before the war. We must fly the nest, for the nest is on fire. Through over-exploitation and reckless experiment, we had fouled the system beyond hope of regeneration. Expansion to new horizons was our only option now. He too inaugurated the cowardly towers in the void. The dread of a sentient return was so strong in him that he could only imagine retreat to islands within the void sea. How little credit we gave the sentients for courage. They willingly endured the void's scalding fire purely for the chance to punish us.
What Albrecht did to me? He corrupted my very being, Drifter. To rob me of my memories is to change how I know myself, is to change Roathe. And that cannot stand. 13!
Please select destination.
After the first sentient invasion of the system and the disastrous Orokin riposte, a curious silence reigned. We had no word from our people stranded in Tau, and no way to know whether their signals were being jammed or they had been entirely obliterated. I found myself petitioned for opinions. As strategist, I was expected to comprehend the enemy. The sentients could have destroyed the solar rail terminus above Tau at any time, yet the rail was still active. Why? What did they gain from leaving the gate open? Were they united in their aggression? Or did some yet hope for peaceful coexistence? Monstrosity and excess had served us admirably in the past. I was expected to apply them as war tactics. How had we tamed the infestation in our ancestors' time? Rip open the atom's heart like a rosebud, of course. As one, the Seven bade me become a devil with a trident of warheads, a soul with a satchel of rampant radiation. That was the day we learned the sentients were not only capable of nullifying our technology, but also of commandeering it. The flock of wicked little leveler drones we sent out came winging merrily back to us, still heavy with bombs, chortling in unknown syllables, detonating in the midst of the very motherships that dispatched them. The losses were absurd. Many refused the data outright and deemed them errors, or lies, or Cephalon conspiracies, raised and glutted on Orokin subterfuge. It was easy for them to reject the truth now. From that moment forth, they lived in a fantasy engineered for their comfort. We were winning. The sentients were in retreat. All who thought otherwise were traitors.
I will abide by so many kinds of depraved games, Drifter. The kinds that would make your skin crawl just to think about it. We Orokin were fundamentally immortal after all. But to rob me of myself? No! 14!
I do not care what steps he has gone to protect himself from this so-called indifference.
I will kill him. 15!
I do not care what steps he has gone to protect himself from this so-called indifference.
I will kill him. 15! Just try!
My side! Quickly!
Guide the devil's hand!
Devastation!
Inefficient, but effective.
Please select destination.